Welcome back to this class. My name is Peter Jewele, and I'm going to take us on this topic on semantic HTML, CSS frameworks, and W3 School. Now, these three topics, actually, there are three topics that I'm going to break. I'm going to explain one by one. So we're going to start from semantic HTML. Meanwhile, in our last video the last topic on CSS, cascading style sheet, learned the importance of CSS in web design. We were able to see the application of CSS and how it makes our website better and more beautiful than using ordinary HTML. We also learned different ways to write and use CSS. Then finally, we apply CSS to our profile website. We have been building a profile website. Please, if you are just coming across this video, I would like you to go through the previous videos on CSS so that you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. Now, in the last topic on CSS, I promised that we're going to use AI in our web design and development, but it's going to come up in later topics. So for now, we will not use AI for now, but let's look at these three topics before we jump to AI. How to use semantic HTML, how to use CSS frameworks, W3 School. And these three topics will make our web development easier and more professional. In this class, we're going to learn semantic HTML and use them practically. Then I'm going to talk about frameworks and different types of CSS frameworks. And we'll focus on Bootstrap CSS. You might have heard it, but we're going to use it to build an e-commerce website in this module. Then finally, we will make use of W3 School to aid our web development. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk about semantic HTML in this video. Now, what is semantic HTML? They are HTML tags that clearly describe the meaning and the role of the content they contain, both to the browser and to human tags. But the name of the tag shows what they are used for. For example, you are familiar with a H1 tag, image tag. You are familiar with a div tag, but they may not convey much meaning when compared to video tag. You see video tag, this tag is going to put video on the screen. Or when you see audio tag, or when you see figure tag, or when you see navigation tag, you see header or footer tag. These are tags that clearly describe the meaning and the role of the content they contain. The major advantage of using semantic HTML is for search engine optimization. Then people that are blind, that are using screen readers, can be able to read your website. And for other tools, especially when we begin to work with JavaScript, you will see the beauty of using semantic HTML. Now, you may not understand all my jargons or English clearly, but let me show you what I mean by semantic HTML. These are examples. You have header tag. When you use header tag, that means that is the top part of your website. So when anybody sees header, he knows that, okay, this tag is talking about the header section of a site. Then when you see nav tag, it's talking about navigation. That is what we mean by semantic HTML. The name of the tag also connotes the meaning and the content that the tag will contain. Hope you understand it. Now, this is totally different from using ordinary div, h1, p tag. So the name nav shows that it's for navigation. Main shows that it's for the main part, the main section of the site. And the section shows certain division under the main. And we have article tag. Side means that, okay, this is a side navigation or side section, the side section of your site. Then we have the footer. Footer is always at the bottom of your site. So these are tags. that when you use them, they convey the appropriate meaning of the content they contain. Then we also have video, audio, and figure tag. I'm going to experiment with the video tag, especially the audio tag and the figure tag. So, meanwhile, let's look at the advantages of semantic HTML. They are good for SEO. Better for SEO rather. What is SEO? SEO means search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. Engine. That should be engine. So that is the meaning of SEO. Now, why do I say semantic HTML is good for SEO? Google search engine will be able to understand the content of your site when it sees something like header, navigation, main, footer, and so on. The Google search engine can be able to read your site and provide search results for people that are looking for anything related to your site. So that is what we mean by that. Most of the time when we are building website, we optimize that site for search engine. And it's a technique that you must master as a web developer. I talk about a title tag. I talk about meta tag. If you watch my videos on HTML, and in that video, I also talk about this search engine optimization. So this is another way to optimize your site for SEO, so that Google can be able to crawl over your site. Then the semantic HTML is good for better accessibility for blind people, for screen readers, people using screen readers to go through your site. Then it's good for professional and cleaner codes. So these are the advantages of semantic HTML. Now let's look at it practically. If I open the site we have been building, my profile, I right click. I'm using Windows 11 here, show more options, and I open it with Visual Studio Code. By now, you must know how to open your project folder with VS Code. So this is the CSS we wrote before. Let's go to the HTML. If I launch this site, if I open with Live Server, I believe you know how to use Live Server. Please, if you don't know that, please try to find out. So this is the site. And each of these links are working. Contact me takes you to a contact page. Contact page still appears raw. Work on it later. Now, maybe I want to put something here, or maybe my videos. Let me just put something that displays videos, maybe under projects. I want to show something under this project. And I go to my code. This is the section for project. Let me just duplicate it. I'm going to highlight the div tag on project. I duplicate it down by pressing Shift and Alt key and arrow down. On the keyboard will duplicate the whole block that I highlighted. Okay, this one I'll call it videos. Okay, I'll just say my videos. Then instead of having OL and L1 tag, no, I don't need OL tag there. I just need H1 tag. And I may not put ID. I may call this one section. And don't forget that is semantic HTML section. This is just a section. Well, if you use div or section, there's no difference. It doesn't do something special. But the major advantage is what I've told you. It's going to tell people going through your, oh, this part is for a section. So that's just the advantage. And for screen reader and for search engine optimization. So that is a good use there. But I put my videos there. Now let's see the way it's going to be, okay, this is it. My videos is here. I want to apply the CSS. So I'm going to put, I will say ID. Let me use ID of projects. And, okay, when I use ID of project, it applies the CSS. If I go to style.css, these are the projects. These are the CSS rule for my project. So in order to save time, let's say I'm using the same rule for this my videos. Then under it, I want to create video tag. Video tag. Okay? If I create video tag and I refresh, nothing is going to happen here. There is nothing here. But there is something I need to do. If I it has some attribute like a source. It has attribute like a source, SRC, source. So I need to bring a video into my project folder. This is my project folder. So let me just look for a video. I hope I'll be able to get a video of my, let me just pick one of the videos of this class. Okay. Okay, let me just pick a video, web design training. Okay, let's pick this, our first video, and put it in my profile. Okay. I will rename it and call it video 1. So I don't want that long name. So in my project, it will appear this video 1. You can see it here now. So it's already there. So I call it video 1.mp4. Don't forget to put the, we have different video formats. So this .mp4 matters. So if I come here, you see, the video is already showing in my site. It's already showing. Is that not interesting? So you can put video in your site. This is good for people that are putting video content on their site. And when you do that, it has some other attributes that you need to put so that the video will appear properly and it will be able to show properly to people. So for example, like the height. Let's define the height. That's another attribute. Height. Height is maybe 300 pixels. Then the width maybe 400 pixels. Let's see whether this has any effect. Oh, wow. See that the height is 300 pixels, the width is 400 pixels. That is video tag. It has some other attributes that I would like us to employ, explore. For the sake of our time, I think let's look at the attribute called, there's an attribute called controls. So we have seen source already. Then we are going to put attribute called controls there. So just say controls. That's all. Let's see what controls we do. You see what control does? It puts play. You're welcome. Wherever you are. It puts stop. You can pause. You can maximize. You can escape. You can, a lot of things. You can pay it by the side and return it, and so on. So that is, this one will return it to the position. So this is control. If I remove control from the video, you see what happened? No button there again. This one you're looking at is my download manager. It detects it automatically. So let me put it there so we're able to see controls. And there are a lot of attributes. These are the most important attributes. So when you have video tag, see the source is the real video, the height, the width, and the controls. So those are the attributes. Now, please, I will give you an assignment to explore other tags like audio, like figure. So and use your imagination or try to be creative and incorporate it into your website and get back to us on the in our discussion group. So this is about semantic HTML. So you're able to see how I use section, which is more or less like if. Then inside it we have H1 tag, which is our my videos. This title my videos, and I try to give it ID of project, which is similar to project, so that I don't waste time on CSS. It acquires all these CSS property that we defined in our previous video. Then I try to use video tag as another semantic HTML, and it has source attribute, height, weight, and controls. You can see the effect of controls in the video. You can play, you can pause, you can maximize, minimize. So thank you for listening. The next video, I'm going to talk about CSS framework.